It's the first Saturday, I think, and I don't even know how long that I woke up and I was like, I have nothing to do today. And I was like, what do I do? I didn't know what to do. I was sitting on the couch with my dogs and my dad came upstairs and I was like, I don't know what to do with myself. Like, what do I do today? So I started getting ready for this at like 11 because I was like, I might as well do my hair. I was like, I don't know what else to do.
On the front porch. Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of On the Porch with Front Porch Music, hosted by me, Jenna, and Logan Miller. Our guest today gets inspired by time spent on the lake in the summertime with her family. You may know her track Take Me Back to Tiki. She was pretty busy last year with the releases of her singles Broken Record and Sunshine Sunday. We are so excited to chat with Paige Rutledge today. Be sure to check out her newest single, Good at Missing You, available on all streaming platforms now. Let's get into our chat with Paige.
I'm nervous. I'm actually not that nervous.
No, you're not.
I'm not nervous at all.
Yeah, you're a great conversationalist, so there's nothing to be nervous about.
I love talking. It's all good.
I love talking. It was like last week. I'm like, I heard you come in and you're like, why am I so extroverted?
I can't control it. It's
Neither
bad.
can I, man. It's okay. Once you get going, it's like, I'm energized. I gotta go.
Exactly. I'm like, so what are we doing next? Like, what's going on?
Literally.
So, where are you from?
I'm from Oakville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in Oakville right now. Yep.
Nice.
But the last couple of years, because my cottage, I've been pretty much split between Oakville and Aurelia. So I always like, I know technically I'm from Oakville, but I'm like, I spend so much time in Aurelia and at the cottage that I'm like, I consider that a second home, like probably more than Oakville.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're caught. What's the lake?
Lake Coochiching.
Yeah, it's right
It's
here.
literally right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's right here.
Can you see it?
Like,
Maybe.
There's still too many leaves on the trees, but yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
When there's no leaves, I can see it.
That's so fun. Oh,
Yeah.
My favorite lake, not being biased, but it's the best lake.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
It's a beautiful place.
Tell me a bit about you. How did you get into this whole thing called music?
Yes. I always loved Shania Twain specifically. And my
who
mom,
doesn't?
Yeah, right. My mom always tells a really embarrassing story that I was a very loud baby, like screamed a lot, cried a lot, just like made a lot of noises. But if they put on Shania Twain when I was younger, I would go quiet and like, I guess, focus and listen and be like a well-behaved baby. But I started singing.
Was there a specific Shania song that they used?
I don't know. I'd have to ask them. My favorite is You're Still the One. So maybe that's why I know it gets you so good. Maybe that's why it's my favorite. I actually don't have a reason as to why it's my favorite. I just always felt drawn to that song for some reason. So maybe my like
Maybe it's your subconscious. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's much more cool than the one that my parents used to get me to shut up.
What was it?
Mine was the
I need
Itsy
to know.
Bitsy Spider.
You know,
It was like, it was like the only thing that would shut me up. And my parents were just like, I can't sing this anymore.
They're like, enough. But I always just loved to sing. Like, I just remember walking around singing, like kind of being one of those kids that just like any chance there was like a spotlight, I was like, oh, like I want to perform. And my grandpa, so both my parents work evenings. My mom's a figure skating coach and my dad's involved in hockey. So my brother and I would go to my grandparents, whichever grandparents was closer to the arena and wherever one of them was at. And my one grandpa was obsessed with country music. Like Charlie Pride was his ultimate favorite artist ever. And so we would listen to Charlie Pride, Shania Twain, Johnny Cash, like, and he would really, really like ingrain in my brain. He's like, these are the artists you need to know growing up. And so we used to just like sing together around and he built me a stage at the cottage, like the same cottage on like
Adorable.
Yeah. So I had my own little like wooden stage behind our shed.
Oh,
And
love that.
I would invite the neighbors to come for concerts on the weekend. And I'm like, this is way before I was even 10 years old, like just wanting to put on shows. And so he got really sick when I was 9 and it all happened really, really quick. And he was super young, but he would invite, or my dad and I and my mom and my brother, we would go over to see him and he would ask me to sing to him to make him feel better. And so being the little 9-year-old, I would sing him at that point. I was like in my rebellious stage. I was like, I'm going to sing you Miley Cyrus actually, instead of
That's your
This makes you feel
rebellious
better.
face.
It was like Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana. I was like, this is what I'm gonna sing you.
I'm a bad
so
girl.
angsty.
Right, right.
I'm gonna
So-
party in this USA.
Yeah, exactly. So I would sing that for him, and I never really had any interest in doing music outside of just singing around the house or putting on concerts for people. And when he passed away in December that year, I asked my parents if I could sing at the funeral, and my parents were like, "Where is this coming from?" Like, yeah, go for it. Like, we'll encourage you to do if this is what's gonna, help you go through this or whatever. And then I just remember, like, I don't even know if I knew it when I was that young, but having this moment where I was like, music is so special. Like, this just changes people's lives, and it's there for you. Like, I channel my music through, I guess, through all of my emotions, but I love it because it just makes me feel so good inside. But music can also be there to help heal you or help connect you to something. And so from there, I just kind of started singing, and I asked to take singing lessons. And I was like, can I please take guitar lessons? Because I was like, you can't be able to sing and not play guitar. Like, I see everybody else playing guitar. So I just had this like sudden, I guess, no, the interest was always there, but I had this like urge to just do everything at once. And then I started doing like the recitals with the music school that I was at. But then I started finding open mics as I got a little bit older. And my dad would have to come sit at the bar with me when I was 16, because obviously you can't be in the bar at 16. Yeah. That's like not cool. Apparently illegal, but it's fine. So we would do that. And then I just kind of worked my butt off to email a whole bunch of places, and really just had this desire to play everywhere, and just kind of anybody that took a chance on me, I would try my best and put on some sort of show. And here we are at 23, still doing it.
That's really awesome. I love how music, like, it clearly runs through your veins. Does it?
Yeah.
Like, has it always been country music? I guess with your grandfather as your biggest influence, kind of, it sounds like.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He is, for sure. And he was a goalie. So he was one of those people where he didn't, he was very about following his dreams, and he did he have a little bit of an NHL career too. So like he achieved everything that which is awesome. He achieved everything that he wanted to do. So he was always a really big pusher for, if you want to do this, like, nobody can tell you no, you can do whatever you really want to do. And so it's always been country music. Like, I appreciate all other genres of music too, and just like appreciate a good song if a song is a good song. But there's something that's just always drawn me, and probably because of that, to country music. And I think the storytelling and everything is so beautiful behind it, and you just don't really get that anywhere else. And it's so special. It's hard to describe, but it's such a special type of music.
I think I'm sitting here shocked that you're only 23 years old. because not like you assume people, whatever, but like you carry yourself in a very particular way, and you're like very like well thought out, and like not in a calculated way, but like you just like present yourself as who you are, and like we laugh that you're the loudest person in the room, and like we love it. Like, you're just so like a whole human being, and you're only 23 years old. Like, that's
thanks. I've never felt so old.
than right now. I mean, like, I'm not that old either, but
I think a lot of that has to do. I've never really been. I mean, I definitely am a people pleaser in that way. Just like, I like to have good relationships with people, but I also just kind of, I've never really been embarrassed of things. Like, I always say or do the most embarrassing things.
Me too.
I've just learned to accept it. And like, once I got over this whole, like, I don't really care. Like, I genuinely am like, I don't really care what people think. Like, you can think I'm crazy because I am, and that's totally okay. Then I was like, whatever, this is Paige.
Can I ask, like, did you care when you were a teenager at all? Or is that something that, like, confidence you've always had? Or is it something that you've learned to love?
Learned to love. Absolutely. I think it took, I don't know, like, I've always been confident. I think too, I used to figure skate. So I've always just loved like having, I don't mean attention in like a bad way, but like I've loved being in the spotlight. If that, like, I love performing. I love like, I'm not afraid to go up on a stage or skate in front of people or whatever. So I think that kind of helps, because you're sometimes forced to make mistakes, and you fall really hard on your butt sometimes figure skating, and
literally,
right? So I credit a lot of that to my confidence, because not only do you fall, like, you can get hurt, like all of those things, but definitely something that I've learned over the years. And high school's a weird time, because I think that's the time where you're right? And because
That's the best time of your life.
It's the best time.
Liars. Whoever said that was such a liar.
Right? But it took a lot of I think high school though, like looking back at it, because I was singing and I was like, I'm serious about singing. And I don't know if a lot of people understand, but I'm sure I could speak on like behalf of some other people that are pursuing music. It's kind of it's a tricky thing to talk about sometimes, because sometimes people take it the wrong way for like what you're trying to do. Or like, it's sometimes one of those weird conversations where they're like, oh, you want to be a singer. And you're like, yes, but I don't think you understand. Like, you don't get it. Like, I just love music. Like, I'm not doing this for like whatever reason. And so once I kind of got over all those things and I was like, do I really care what these people think of me? Then I was like, here comes the confidence. But it took a lot of learning and just kind of getting over myself sometimes too, and being like, that really wasn't that bad. Like, you need to relax on yourself.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I've learned is that like audiences are forgiving for the most part. Yeah. Like,
we're all human.
You might screw up, but people will generally not be a dick about it.
And we don't even know. None of us in the audience notice until you point it out. Either like, did you guys hear that? I played that whole song in the wrong key, and you're like, we're out here like,
what? I think sometimes too, just like owning it, and you're like, shit happens. It's fine.
Yeah,
we move on.
Did you ever, so like with that confidence, like did like the first time that you hit a stage, not hit a stage, but like when you got, that's something I would do. I would just fall on the stage. It's happened.
The best of us.
Yeah. Did you ever feel like that, like a sense of like almost like imposter syndrome? Like you were talking about like people being like, oh, I want to be a singer, but not like that. Like, was there a sense of like imposter syndrome there?
I don't think so for myself. Maybe for like I said, kids in high school can be mean.
Yeah. Like that's what I mean.
Yeah, they can be mean. And I think so maybe sometimes for them, but I always just made sure I'm like, I'm not going to act any different anywhere I go. Like, this wild, wacky, energetic, doesn't stop talking person is going to be here 24/7. So I was like, as long as I'm true to myself, like, and again, something I had to learn, but I was like, as long as I'm true to myself, then I don't really, and that's like, I don't really care, but like you learn.
No, but that's awesome because like people spend their whole lives trying to get to that place. And it's like, I think it's amazing that you're there. Like
Thanks. It took a lot. It also took a lot of like, I think I had this moment. Oh my God, this was so, I just remember running off and like crying to my dad after, because I think I was like 14 and I had been asked by my school to sing at the Christmas concert, like a Christmas, not like a concert, like a Christmas fair that they were doing, I guess, almost, or like an expo or whatever. And I was so sick, like just so sick, had laryngitis. And I was like, my dad's like, don't sing. And I was like, no. I can do this. Like,
the show must go on.
The show, yeah, right. The 14-year-old in me, I'm like, no voice. I can make this work. Didn't know where the voice was going to come from, but it didn't come. In case you guys were wondering, at the end of the story, I was not able to sing.
Oh no,
because I had no voice. And then I think I was like, that was probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. And once in the moment, I was very sad. Like, being the 14-year-old girl, ran off crying, and I was like, I'm never doing this again. And I was like, no, I am. You're fine. But I think that was like my like realization moment where I was like, well, if I think I can go up there and sing with no voice, then like, it's all on me. Nobody else even really cared what I was doing up there. And, you know, it's like one of those, it's weird. I think sometimes you have to go through those like weird moments on stage where you forget the lyrics, or you try to sing with laryngitis, or you do all those things to be like, it's okay. And like, it doesn't matter what people think, because like you said, most people are forgiving. And once you realize not everybody in the world is out to get you as well, and you do. I also feel like that's been a huge part of my life too. I've never doubted the support that I have. Like,
oh, that's great.
Yeah. My family is amazing. And my friends are like, they're so cute. They send me videos of them singing all my songs. And then they're like friends who I don't even know are singing my songs. And I'm like, oh, thank you for showing your friends. So I think too, having a good support system around has always helped like me develop this confidence, and also just being like weird and owning that you're weird helps as well.
It's important. I feel like you, once you realize that like you're doing it for yourself and it's not for somebody else, it's just like the world is suddenly actually your oyster. Like
it's true. Yeah. Someone said that to me the other day. I can't remember who, but I was having almost that exact conversation. They're like, once you write a song, or, you know, you do this for you, it all changes. It really changes.
Yeah, totally. And you can tell when people are your career changes or your stage performance changes or just the way you carry yourself changes when you have that realization. It just like becomes more meaningful, I think. We've had the same conversation with everybody too. Like,
yeah,
it's so like, it's just, you don't notice until you notice too, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, I was listening when we were at the one day at the Moonshine. Shout out to the Moonshine. Also,
love the Moonshine.
You're like a staple at the Moonshine.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's good. I think it's good. I think it's just like, we know if Paige is at the Moonshine, it's a good day. Like all is right in the world. Everyone can hear. All is right in the world.
So happy.
No, it's so cute. But you notice like when you're performing and when you noticing you perform, you were sharing a story. I forget what the song is. Sorry about that part. But
okay.
You were telling a story leading up to the song, and you were like, you could see you watching you could see you like coming into your feels and like, I'm gonna perform this song. And I just like, you know, like Sunshine Sunday.
Yes.
I'm like, that song is so fun, and Broken Record is fun. And then you just like channeled this like other side of you. And I was like, oh, I feel, you know, you feel the fun, like but like you played a slower song, and it was just like, this song means something to me. I wrote this. I think it was related to your grandfather.
Yeah,
this is so cloudy for some reason. It's only
gone.
1 month ago. Yeah,
gone. Really gone.
Yeah. And I was just like, I feel this song so differently watching you perform it than anything. And I was like, this is just like her whole human is like in this song. It was so different.
I really appreciate that. Yeah. I'm like getting emotional thinking about it right now, because I try to pour myself and like put everything that I have into every song I do. And a lot of what people see is like the energetic, bubbly side, because that is truly who I am. Like,
absolutely.
Sometimes to the point where I'm like, oh my God, you need to sleep. Like, what? You need to go to bed. But I also do have that like sensitive emotional side. And when I wrote Gone Ain't Really Gone, I wrote it with Rich and Eli. And in the writing session, because it was something that's so personal and just, we talked for so long about my life and my story, like kind of the same story I just shared with you guys, that we got like, they made me really dig into like all of my feelings that I couldn't even get through the writings. I couldn't even sing on the original work tape because I was a mess.
Way.
Yeah. Eli sang on it because I was like, no, I'm crying. I was like, please don't make me sing right now.
Oh,
yeah. But like going off that, I guess, is I really want everything I do to be a representation of me. So that means a lot. Thank you for saying that.
Of course. Also, on a side note, should everyone be billing Rich and Eli for therapy hours too? Or
yes, that is true. They should.
That's too good.
Well, Paige, before we move on here, let's take a quick break. And we're back. Yay. What a break. So we kind of started talking about this before the break. You love a happy song.
I do. I love a happy song.
So what about it? Like, what about these kinds of songs just kind of brings you joy?
That's such a good question. I enjoy being happy. I mean, I think people enjoy being happy. I hope people enjoy being happy. I'm sure we do. But I love like laughing and smiling and just having a good time with people. And so I guess like, because even though like the reason I started music is kind of a sad thing, music does bring me so much joy. So I think I'm drawn to that because of that relationship that I have with music. And I truly feel like I'm in, like, not to sound cliche or whatever, but in my happy place when I am singing and performing and doing all these things. And I always leave a show just like the most smiley person in the world. And I'm like, why wouldn't you want to do this every single day? So I think that's why I'm so drawn to happy songs, where I'm just like, this just makes me feel, I just like things that make me feel good inside. And happy songs do that. But I'm a sucker for a good sad song when I need to cry, because I, on this other side of the happiness, is an incredibly emotional human, which like, good thing we can channel that into songwriting, that I like a good crying song too.
What's your go-to?
Oh God. Anything about people dying, which is so awful and so sad. It's not funny. I'm not laughing. I'm like
Like you want to go into the like depths of grief when you want to cry.
Yeah, you know those songs that people. I'm not like a sad like breakup song person. It's those songs that people like. For me, Gone Ain't Really Gone, but the songs that people sing about losing somebody or just like really experiencing like loss. And I'm like, there's one song by it's Scotty McCreery. I think it's called Christmas in Heaven.
Oh, I don't want to go there.
No, don't. It's a beautiful song though, but like, don't do it.
Okay, I'm not gonna do it. First, why are we mixing sad and Christmas? I hate that.
I don't know.
You like it though. You're like, when I want to be sad, I want to listen to the most tragic Christmas song ever.
It's just, I think it's like, what's the word? Like when something's like cathartic and healing. Is that a thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I do it to myself. Because I'm like, after I do this, I'll feel better about my sad moments in life.
I like that just reminded me of a song that I remember really got me, and I had to just quickly look up the actual title name because I couldn't remember. It's a song by Kenny Chesney, and I'm not generally a huge Kenny Chesney fan. He has a song called While He Still Knows Who I Am. And when I heard it, it's a song about, his father has dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that. And it's about talking to him while he still knows who he is and taking those moments to make sure that he knows that he loves him and all that. Like when I heard that song, I called my dad. I was like, Dad, I love you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Really it's such a good song.
Am I the only one who like desperately cries at the song I Loved Her First by Heartland? Is that what it's called? You know, I'm not gonna
listen to that.
I'm not about to sing it for anybody.
Like that.
It's literally not my job.
Give us a sample.
No, like it's like everybody's first.
Where's Eli when we need him?
Literally.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like everyone's first dance song. I think it's by Heartland.
Oh,
I don't think I know that song. Maybe I know it to hear it.
You
know
would.
what, though? Anything that's like a first dance, like love song too, also gets me because I just think love is so beautiful, and you're like, humans like. That's like the happy tears, though.
Totally. Yeah. Oh, I love a good happy tear. I'm a sucker at a wedding.
Oh,
I hate weddings. I hate like, I'm not like all about like big grand
Jenna
gestures.
hates happiness.
Like I don't hate happiness. I find happiness in like much different things than.
That's fair.
Honestly, like, but like a wedding, you get those parents up there talking about their kid, and in the back of their heads are like, that's one last kid in the house. Like, yes, we're almost at that empty nest. But they're like crying and talking about how much they love their kid. I'm just like crying like a monster.
Sad.
Yeah,
oh my God.
man.
My best friend's getting married in August, and I am just like my best friend. I mean, she's older than I am, but so since I've been alive, my best friend, like we were forced to be best friends, but we love each other very much because our families are so close, and her parents are my second parents, like that kind of relationship. And I am just fully ready to be a mess because when she got engaged and she FaceTimed me, I started bawling my eyes out. I'm like, I just love you guys so much.
Oh my God.
How am I going to be a human at this wedding? I don't know. Stay tuned.
That's so funny. We're like the opposites. My cousin like FaceTimes me and I'm like, what'd you guys get engaged? And they're both looking at me like, yeah. And I was like, oops. Like I ruined the whole thing. They're gonna be like, look, we got engaged. And I was like, what? Congratulations. I'm sorry. Oops.
That's so funny. I love it.
It's funny, but it's so great.
It's so great.
Like it's just so funny. It's just so funny how different people are and how we like take different things. We can all experience the exact same thing, and like we can all have a different feeling from it. And we can all like everybody's perspective on literally anything is so different, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we all experience like the same situation, all very differently.
Yeah,
totally.
And that's crazy. And that's
it's crazy.
It's
kind of cool.
It is cool.
It's cool.
It's cool. I'm a psych nerd. That's what I went to school for. So it's just
this.
like I truly do. I love seeing like everybody's different realities. That's why like when it comes to music, it's so cool to see what people take from a song and like how I listen to it one way and another person listens to it different. Like I'll listen to a song 3 or 4 times before I've decided like my opinion of it, because at first I'm listening to like, what's my gut reaction when I hear it? Like, what does it make me think or feel? Mm-hmm. Then I listen to it again and it's like, what are the words? And I'm like, what's that leading instrument that like gets you, right? Like,
yeah, totally.
I love
totally.
like like a electric guitar, just like so sassy and so like just throw something in there. That's my I listen for those different like elements too.
Well, and then there's times you'll send me a song and be like, you have to listen to this song, and I'm like, man, it's fine.
Literally, and I get so I'm like,
you're like, I am so offended right now.
Literally, I'm like, listen to it again. Come on.
And then I'll send you a song, and you'll be like, ugh, that what?
Like, I don't like this. I'm like already past it or something. I sent this song the other day. And I was like, did you listen to it yet? And he's like, no. And also, he never gives me the satisfaction of listening, like, right when I send it.
She sends it.
It's like the next wait on this.
It's the next day. And he's like, oh, that song's pretty good. And I'm like, pretty good. I will, like, be driving, listening to, like, I was listening to, like, what's it called? New Music Nashville or something. Like, it's like a Spotify playlist. And it's like, and I'm hearing things for the first time all the time because that playlist changes like every 2 days. Like it's just passively listening and something catches my attention and I'm like, there's something good in this song. And then you're paying attention to it and then you listen to it again. Like that's my favorite thing. Those are like good songs to me. I'm like, if I can be like zoned out, okay, driving. I don't mean to be zoned out when I'm driving. You know what I mean? Like when you're just like,
it's good. No one.
We've all been there.
Literally, it's fine. But you know, when you're driving along, it's like such a routine thing to do and you're whatever. And all of a sudden it's just like something catches your attention. Like that's a good, like that's the best music is when you find it like that. It's so great.
See, I don't have time anymore to listen to music like that. Like the Front Porch, I love it. The Front Porch inboxes just get so full every day with people sending songs. So I'm always listening to new music and like, but it's like not like that kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't have time to listen to that, Jenna. I have like work to do.
I love listening to Jenna. I love like listening to the music that comes to us, but I also like take so much joy in finding something myself.
Absolutely.
Like there's the song by Five Roses. Yeah, what's it called?
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name.
I love it.
Off the top of my head.
May as well be me.
Might as well be me. Might as well be me.
Yes.
I love that it's on. I love that I can hear it on the radio now too. But
right,
I'm sure I could have found it sooner than I did. But the way I found it, it was just so much more gratifying. And I'm like, this is a great song. It was buried in this random playlist I decided to listen to one day, and I'm just like, where is this? Oh, it's out. It
came into our inbox.
It literally came into our inbox, and I didn't see it at all.
But you're right. There's something so satisfying about finding a new song. Or I'm a huge. If somebody that I like, really like, I will listen to an album start to finish because I love that experience. And I love those songs that like originally you're like, maybe I'll skip this one, but it catches you by surprise. And you're like, why is no one talking about this song on the album? It's so good. I love finding that.
I know I was just talking to somebody else about this the other day. And we were saying how like there is an experience in listening to the album start to finish because
in the order, like not
in order,
like
not
on
order.
shuffle.
No, exactly. Yeah. We were talking about how there's everything is meaningfully placed where it is for a reason. That's the experience. That's the original experience of that music and that piece of work is listening to the album start to finish. And then we were talking about how, I love finding like what's going to go on the radio next because it's usually you can pick that one out really easy.
Yeah,
but
you can figure it out.
But there's also the one that's like your actual favorite song that is never going to see like the airwaves like that, right? Like it's totally so cool.
Do you think we're getting away from that, like the whole album experience?
I think like as a whole we probably are. Myself, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's I'm like I love the album experience, but I don't think people sit and listen to albums start to finish anymore. And there's something so special about that.
Artists aren't putting out albums the way they used to. It's like get as many songs out as you can, release them each as a single and get as many streams as you can.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Let's go back to albums.
I know. What do you what do you want to do? Do you want to release like tons of singles? Do you want to keep doing that?
I have a million things going on in my head all the time. So I mean,
we know.
We all know. We're like, which thought first? So going into, or I guess like 2022, this past year, like 2021 and the end of 2020 when I released Tiki has been this like a really important growing year, I think, for me. And I was like really, really working on finding what I wanted to say and like how I wanted to say it and just kind of going about like figuring out that side of it. And now I feel like very confident in what I'm going to be putting out. And as long as everything goes to plan, I'm like, I think I can say all this stuff. I do want to do an EP towards the end of the year with some like brand new stuff on it.
Yes.
Including the singles that will be released in 2022, but then some like just fresh new songs on the EP that will just not be singles, but on the EP. So kind of having a little bit of that album-ish experience, but not a full-length album, of course, because a lot of money that I don't have. So
Fair.
right.
That's that's the same story we hear for so many indie artists.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat.
Yeah, it's really a shame. This industry can be really frustrating for independent artists.
Like non-forgiving. Yeah, totally.
It gets tough because you want to put all of this into your music, and I mean, everybody is because they're so dedicated to what they're doing, but it does end up, it can get expensive, like really, really quick.
And it sucks that your art, the piece that you like, that you're putting your whole soul into, also gets left into someone else's hands eventually.
Exactly.
Who you're paying and hoping that they give a good product.
It's a stressful thing, but you gotta love it. You gotta find the joys in it and pull those positives. Yeah, because it can get tough sometimes.
Hearing artists talk about it is just
stress-inducing.
Some experiences that some artists have told me about is just like they get taken for a ride and it's
so hard. How do you find people? Like, you have to find your people that you trust and that you know are like working for you and with you, and that you have good relations with. Like, how do you find your people?
I'm very fortunate that my cousin Alex is my
producer. It's family ties. You can't mess it up.
It's family. And so him stepping into this role, and because it kind of started as us, we've always, like, growing up, we always just sang or did whatever together when we were at the cottage. And his two sisters also sing as well, and they love Taylor Swift just as much as me. So we would always sing Taylor Swift growing up. And so there was no lack of like music. But when him and I started doing, like, having this working relationship, really, it changed everything for me, honestly, because I know 100% that I can trust him, obviously, but I also know that he fully believes in me. Like, I think he believes in me sometimes more than I actually believe in myself. And once you find,
and you need people like that.
You need people like that. You need, because like I said, sometimes it does get tough. And as much as I'm like, you have those moments of self-doubt where you can be extra hard on yourself. And like, sometimes it's hard to not compare yourself to other people and what they're doing. And he's always like, Paige, no, snap out of it. Like, you're fine. And just like having that reassurance, but genuine reassurance. Because I know he's not bullshitting me, essentially. Like, he's doing this because he truly believes in me. So that changed everything for me. But I think that's the biggest thing, is you have to find those people that, yes, you trust, but also that they believe in you and they're not just doing this because it's their job, like, to make their money, but they actually believe in what you're doing as an artist. Because if they don't believe in you and they're not helping you in that next step, or helping you achieve your dream, or helping to sell what you're doing, then it doesn't really work either. So finding people that believe in you, I think, is super important as well.
Someone to, like, you know, when you're having those moments of self-doubt, to be able to pick you up off the floor and be like,
he's also my therapist as well. So,
like,
you know.
Like just someone to say, I got you. And like, to know that they actually have your back.
Exactly. Yeah. It changes everything. It really, really changes everything. So he's going to listen to this. I know he will. So Alex, shout out. We love you.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex. We all love Alex.
You and Alex traveled to Nashville together, no?
We did. Yes. Oh my gosh. Him and I have been planning that for so long. And then we were supposed to go in 2020, which obviously did not happen.
Why?
Yeah. Why? Yeah, right? I wonder what was going on in the world in 2020.
I can't think of what it might be.
What traumatized all of us.
Yeah, exactly. So it ended up that he had a week off. He was in LA the week prior doing something with his band. And it just so happened that we had this week off. I stayed for longer, but it happened that we had a week off together. And I'm like, we're going to Nashville. We're going to Nashville. That was super special too, because that was my first writing trip to Nashville. Cool. And so the fact that I got to do it with him, and like the whole first week of writes was Alex, myself, and whoever we were writing with that day. And I'm like, this is amazing to have somebody in the room with me that knows me better than me, and like knows like what we're trying to achieve, and like what I would naturally say with this new person that we're meeting for the very first time. So that was a very special experience. And then we had two friends fly in on the weekend for our one friend, Jillian. It was her birthday. So we just got to have this like really awesome business, but also just a little bit of a vacation on the weekend as well. It was special. It was really special.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How does that work with Nashville? Like, I don't actually know this. Like, you went down for a writing week, and I can't imagine that you just show up and go, who wants to write in the middle of the street?
Maybe you could.
I mean, maybe
you could
you
show
could in
up and there'd be
Nashville.
like 10 people be like,
You know what?
homie.
I kind of have a funny story about that kind of like that. Not that didn't happen. I didn't yell, who wants to write? But we met two guys. We met these two guys, Jack and Spencer, at one of the bars we were at. And they were Alex's in a band called Valley. And Valley had performed at the Ryman a couple weeks prior. So they had opened up for the band Camino. And so like they're pretty established. Like, I mean, Camino is incredibly established, but Valley has done a really great job working their reputation in Nashville. And so they came up to like start conversation to be like, oh, we saw you guys at the Ryman. And then we learned that they were songwriters. And then I ended up writing with them. And the song that I wrote with these two people, Jack and Spencer, that I met at the bar, is my favorite song I think I've taken away from Nashville. Because it was so spontaneous.
So you really do just show up and say, who wants to write?
You do, in some way. In some way you do.
Right? I went down. That was my only like super spontaneous, super spontaneous writing moment. But everybody else I had arranged prior, or I had help from others. Like,
and did you just meet them on Instagram or like friends of friends or? Yeah,
there was a couple people. One of my favorite people in the entire world, like writer and artist, is AJ, and she lives in Nashville. And so AJ and I had been writing over Zoom, and we finally got to meet for like the first time, because she's originally from BC, in person. So that was cool. Like there was a couple people that I went down with previous connections to. But then there was also some people that I had rights set up for me that I had never met before. So that was a cool experience too, because I'm like, I had never heard of this person prior. And everybody is obviously so talented who lives there. And it's so hard to not feed off of the energy. Like you're just in this environment all the time where there's so much energy, and just everywhere you go, every bartender you meet or everybody you talk to is a musician or a writer, or they're someone in the industry. And from my experience, everybody was very kind and polite. So I was just having the best time meeting people and making friends and just living my best life, for a lack of better words.
Are you going back down anytime soon?
Yes. I have so many weddings. Speaking of not going back to weddings, but I actually have weddings that I need to be at. I have friends and family all getting married all of a sudden. So I don't have any official dates just yet, because I'm going to be planning around the weddings. But hopefully the spring for sure. And then I'm trying to sneak in a trip in the winter too, to just go back for like a couple weeks.
Just amazing. A couple weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
You guys can come. Let's go.
That'd be so fun.
We would have the best time.
Oh, we would have too much fun.
We would.
Actually, there's no such thing.
I would be the one in the street yelling, "Someone write with me!" I don't know how to write, but someone do it.
Someone teach me, please. You know what? I'm willing to bet people would come running up and be like, "I'm a writer. I'm a writer."
We should test this out.
That would be actually really fun to test out.
That'd be such a fun game.
We gotta ask somebody who's in Nashville right now to be like, hey, can you just
text them?
Quick test. I need you to do this for me.
Make sure you're recording it.
Please. Yeah, recording it. Do it for the gram.
Yeah. This is an experiment also. Can you please?
Exactly.
That's so funny. I love it.
And then I'll try doing it in Aurelia and see if I get the same response.
Can I come for this? Let me know. We'll meet.
Oh, that's funny.
Perfect.
We have to film part 2 of our chat with you at your cottage, because Logan's literally not far.
Live from Tiki.
Yes, please.
I'm on to something. You know what? I'm there all the time.
So a summer episode? I don't want to do this in the winter. I'm literally not coming up here until the snow is gone again. Forget that.
Like, Tiki's not as cute in the winter, because things actually have to go away because winter. But in the summer, all of our cute little neon signs come out and everything going on. It will be fun.
I live for that. I live for summer.
Me too. Oh, me too.
I don't know. I like winter.
Okay. I'm sick of hearing people say that. I literally am. Who was saying this yesterday? And
if you guys could all have just seen the look that Jenna gave.
It was disgust. It was utter disgust.
I feel like I need to see myself out.
You're like, and this is over. Thank you.
People who say they like winter, I'm like, I think you're all lying. Unless you live for like snowboarding and skiing, forget you. There's nothing. No.
I mean, I like skating on like lakes and
on
stuff.
The pond. Yeah, for sure. For like 1 month.
Yeah. That's enough. Exactly. Like tastefulness. And if it doesn't snow on Christmas, that's obviously kind of sad. So.
Yeah. And then after December, I want it to go away.
You're like, and I'm done. Thanks. Logan's giving us the head shake.
That like long, dreary seasonal depression and
bring on the seasonal depression. I want to ski all months. I want to I'd rather be cold than hot. I don't know. I know. I'm.
Who literally wants to be
faces.
cold? Who wants to be cold?
Maybe I'll take some screenshots and
You're gonna
of
have
this
to
Oh,
and like
post
share
these.
them out.
Exactly. It's too
A
good not to.
montage of me like rolling my eyes and like throwing my head back whenever I'm disgusted. I can't. I have been in early high school. I had a teacher who came up to me and was like, I mean this in the best of ways. You have the most expressive face, so don't try to lie to me because I know when you're not impressed. And I'm like, noted.
You're like,
Yeah,
I'm making a facial expression.
Yeah, I can't control my eyeballs either.
I'm just so expressive and it's fine. I'm fine with it. But sometimes I'm like, oh, did I?
See? Going back to the beginning of our conversation, you just gotta own it
Yep.
and be confident, and then you're good to go.
Exactly. Just
Yeah.
be you.
Okay, but Jenna, we have to talk this out though.
What's up?
Like about being cold versus hot.
I was born in the summer.
So was I.
I'm a water sign.
I don't know what that means.
I'm a Cancer. Okay, whatever. I don't love the zodiac and everything. Don't get me wrong, but I know I'm a water sign. I love being by the water. I was born when it was 35 degrees outside in June. Like, why would I like the winter? That was not the climate I was born in.
Because
It's so funny.
because when you're cold, you can always put more layers on.
I don't care about the logistics of it.
And then
one
when you're
bit.
hot,
You're not
you're just
convincing
like
her.
you're taking clothes off and then but there's only so naked you're legally allowed to be outside. And like even then, even when you are naked, you're still freaking hot and sweaty.
I'm never like uncomfortably hot and sweaty.
Ugh.
I'm always like
Okay.
I'm not. There's no like common ground on this argument. Like I'm cool with being warm. When I remember sitting at a ball diamond, sweating my ass off, like 40 degrees. It's like July or August. Like you're wearing black ball pants, and I would be sweating and hot. And the game was over, and I'd be cooling down, and I'd be fine in those pants in the middle of the
You're
heat.
like,
Like
I'm good.
No.
I'm well climatized. I'm well
You are
adjusted.
objectively wrong on that.
I'm well adjusted. I don't know. This is
Sorry, Paige. We have
We-
totally just
we-
like
you know
turned this
what?
into a debate.
I'm loving every second of it.
Are you the moderator, or do you agree with me? Or do you agree with me?
because- I mean, I'm not taking sides.
I know which way this is going. Okay.
I like
You have a place called frickin' Tiki.
Yeah,
Like, I know where this is going.
You know what? But I'm like, how do I justify both sides of this? I don't like
You
being
don't
too
have
cold
to.
and I don't like being too hot. I like being in the middle.
What a cop out, Switzerland. Come on.
I am Switzerland.
Come on.
Yeah, that was
We've gotten so far away from what music and whatever, but this has been
This usually happens when I talk. I'm not
it's so
gonna
important.
lie.
It's so important.
it is. We're getting to the root of all the world's problems. here.
Exactly.
Or
We're
at
just
least
solving
our
a lot of problems.
Yeah. This is how world peace happens.
Exactly.
Is it?
The three of us
Yeah.
in a room. You got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Paige, where can people find you?
Oh my gosh, everywhere. I am all over the map. Well, and I guess the social media and,
And
the
social
internet,
media?
and the internet. Everything is just at Paige Rutledge, just my name. Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you listen to your music. Sirius XM, channel 171. If you want to hear a broken record, it still plays.
Yeah, we'll put
So-
we'll put links to everywhere people can find you in the show notes.
Perfect.
And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. This has been an absolute
you.
pleasure.
I had so much fun.
Thanks so much for joining us on the Porch with Front Porch Music. I love talking to artists and digging deep into the world of Canadian country music, and I'm so excited you joined. If you liked this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. That's the easiest way for you to support this show. You may even get a shout out. So we'll see you in a couple weeks next time on The Porch. On the Porch with Front Porch Music is hosted by me, Logan Miller, and Jenna Weishar. The theme song was written, produced, and performed by Owen Wrigley. On the front porch. Right?
What is going on in Aurelia? All I want sometimes when I'm really drunk is McDonald's. And how can I get that? I can't is the answer because there's no fucking Uber Eats.